we talked about how one of the issues with community is that is unhealed trauma.
I mean, I'm like, where do I start? For me, I personally grew up with trauma, and who doesn't, right? Basically, we're all finding out that the entire world is living out of reaction to trauma, coping mechanisms and responses. And then when we come into community, our traumas hit each other because we get triggered or activated is the new word. People are trying not to say triggered because that's too war oriented. So we get activated, our traumas get activated by each other's wounds. So it's like wound speaking to wound. And that does not bode well for communities. So really having a community, like you were saying, TC, that every person have like a medicine woman or a medicine man that is in that community that works with the trauma of the individuals and the community. And a lot of these tribal spaces and other communities around the world, such as Indonesia, Bali, they actually have rituals that are based around trauma and based around what the community wound is. And they actually, like the ago in Bali that they have the New Year's Eve, is they create these monsters and they're like these effigies of the community wounding. And then they parade around and they make music like, here's the trauma, here's the effigy, the monster of our community, and it looks like whatever the community trauma was for that year, and then they burn it, and then the next day like all the trauma leaves, and they meditate and they silence, and they no food, no smoke, no sex, no nothing, and then that's their ritual. So a lot of communities in tribal times used to have these ways of working with trauma, with grief, because there's going to be challenges in the world. And in the Western world, we kind of like sweep it under the rug. We pretend like it didn't happen. We put on masks. But underneath that mask is this pain and this desire to be heard, to be seen, to be known. And then it comes out in different ways, like how we work together. And so it's really about how do we work with our natural human mechanisms to protect and to work in fear and change that to bliss and love and connection again, which is so our nature.